Welcome back to Mrs. Riley's Maths videos. This is the second video about Venn diagrams, problems with 3 sets, but in these questions they're a bit harder because we have to use an X, and that tends to wreck people's heads. So this type of question is where we're not given all the information we need to fill in the Venn diagram, and what we end up doing is letting one of the sections of the Venn diagram have an X in it instead of a number, and then we have to form an equation and work backwards from there. Okay, so let's see how we get on. In this, 171 people were asked if they liked Chinese food, Indian food or Thai food. 83 liked Chinese food, 87 liked Indian food and 82 liked Thai food. So already I hope at this stage you're realizing that all these numbers are not going to add up to 171 because they're information about the people and how they like their food. And some people like 2 types of food, some people like 3 types of food, some people like 1 type. So we just have to be careful, realize they won't all add up to 171. 25 liked Chinese and Thai food, 47 liked Indian and Thai food, and 40 liked Chinese and Indian food. So that's the people who like 2 foods, and 11 people liked none of these foods. So we're going to have some people outside of the circles altogether. Taking X as the number who liked all 3 foods, draw a Venn diagram to represent this information. Okay. So let's do this. Let's put in our Venn diagram area. Now I'm actually going to do this in pencil. I'll draw my Venn diagram first and then I'm going to fill in my values in pencil, just because it's not a bad idea when you're doing something that might change as we go along. Okay, so hopefully this is a pencil that's sharp enough. So my universal set is the total number of people asked, which is 171. I've got Chinese will be C, I've got Indian will be I, and I've got T will be Thai. Chinese food, Indian food, and Thai food. I hope this isn't making you hungry. So Chinese food, Indian food, and Thai food. So what am I told? I'm told to put X, taking X as the number who liked all 3 foods. So I'm going to put X in the middle here because that's the number that liked all 3 foods. Okay, so actually I see that with the light shining, it's shining off that X. So I'm actually just going to put it in pen. Okay, now this X, remember, is the number that I'm going to take away from any information I'm given about this whole area, or about this whole area, or about this whole area. So this X is going to feature quite strongly. So taking X as the number who liked all 3 foods, draw a Venn diagram. So how do I do this? Let's look and see. I'm going to do this area first, the Chinese and Indian food. I'm told that 40 people liked Chinese and Indian food. So in this whole area here, I know I have to have 40. Now in my previous example, when we were looking at cinema goers, you remember that 10 people liked all 3. In this case, X people like all 3. And what we did was, when we had this area, if 40 liked Chinese and Indian, then in this section here goes 40 people minus the center section, which in this case is X. So in this section here goes 40 minus X, because 40 people should be in this whole section, but I already have X of them. What about Chinese and Thai? Chinese and Thai is 25 people. 25 people like Chinese and Thai food. So in this section here has got to be 25 people, but I already have X people, so 25 minus X people is going to go there. And Indian and Thai is 47 people liked Indian and Thai food. So in this whole area is 47 people. So 47 minus X goes in that section. Okay, so X is taken away from the number of the people who like both these things. That's the key thing. Now, it gets more complicated than that because we've now got to put in these numbers. So what I sometimes do is that I do little calculations to the side. So what are we told? We're told that 83 liked Chinese. So 83 liked Chinese food. So in this Chinese food circle, I'm going to have 83 people. I already have 40 minus X people, and 25 minus X people. So I already have, adding these up, 40 and 25 is 65, minus X and plus X will cancel each other out, and then I'm just left with a minus X. So what's left to go in here is 65 minus X people. Now you may not have followed that this time, that one, but let's try the next one and it might become clear. 87 people like Indian food. So in this whole circle here has got to be 87 people. Okay, but I already have 40 minus X, and 47 minus X. I already have 40 minus X, and 47 minus X here. I already have 87 minus X people because these cancel out. Okay, so this is 87 minus X. Okay. No. Okay, I've made a mistake here. Haven't I? I've made a mistake here because I said 65 minus X is what I already have. So actually in here goes 83 minus 65 minus X. Yeah, I knew I'd made a slip there. Thanks. 83 minus 65 minus X, you probably spotted it already, which is 18 plus X people. Okay, and the same thing here. I've got 87 minus X people and I need to have 87 people, so I've actually got X people goes in here because 87 minus X is 87 minus 87 plus X, so I have X people go here. And then finally in Thai food I've got 82 people, 82 like Thai food. So I've already got 25 minus X, those ones. I've got X and I've got 47 minus X. So I've already got 72 minus X. So altogether I already have 72 minus X people, but I need 82 people. So the difference between those will be 82 minus 72 minus X, which is 82 minus 72 plus X. So 10 plus X. Okay, so this should actually be 18 plus X. That was my mistake a minute ago. Okay. Okay, now let's just go through that again quickly because even I made a mistake because I wasn't thinking straight. Must have been all the talk of food. Let's talk about the Chinese food again. In that whole circle, let's just draw it here. We have got 25 minus X, and 40 minus X. But in that whole circle, I should have 83 people. So I should have 83, but I already have 40 minus X plus 25 minus X. Okay, and I just added them up here to make it look a little bit easier to see how I was adding them, but maybe actually you find it easier to add them this way. So I have 83 minus 40 and 25 is 65, minus X and plus X cancel out, I've got minus X. So I've already got 83 minus 65 plus X, because when we subtract minus X it's plus X. So I've got 18 plus X. That's where that came from. And I can do the same for each of the circles to get the number that goes in here. This one was a bit weird over here because actually 87 cancelled out 87 here. So what I had was just X left over. Now what do I do? I'm also told that some people don't like any of them. So 11 people liked none of these foods. So 11 people is going to go out here. Now, what do I do with all this information? What I do is I'm going to add up all the different numbers that I have in the circle. Do you remember that's how we double check at the end that we have things right? Add up all of them. Now, I think it's easier to write them like this. That's that X, and there's that X. But some people prefer to do it in a long string. I don't mind which way you do it, obviously, but just choose a way that works for you. I like this way because it means our x's can cancel out. So that x and that x cancel out, that x and that x cancel out, that x and that x cancel out, and I'm just left with x. And then I've got 18 and 40. I better add these up on the calculator, seeing as I've just nearly made a very bad mistake. That all adds up to 140 plus x. So what I've got is that 140 plus x equals my total number of people. Okay. So there's the list of the adding up. 18 plus x, 40 minus x, x. Okay. So what's that? 18 plus x, 40 minus x, 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 25 minus x, 47 minus x, and 10 plus x. I've added them all up here, all the different sections, plus, of course, my 11. So plus the 11 who didn't like anything, so I've got 151 plus x equals the total. Okay, so I know that 151 plus x must equal to 171 because there's a total of 171 people. So x must be 20 people, the difference between 171 and 151. Okay, I hope that helped. Go back over it again. Remember that I made that mistake initially and I had to change it. So when you watch it again, you can go, stop, you're not doing it right. And then I'll listen to you and I'll do it quicker next time. Okay, we'll do a bit of time travel. Okay, I hope that makes sense, or it helps anyway. Bye-bye.